Yeah, I'm here to say that we got beef. Texas and Oklahoma, it's a frequent topic of comparison. And
Yeah.
Marv shut everybody up last weekend at Super Bit Wars by winning
Yeah.
and taking the dub home for the DF dub. Shout out to Marv living in Dallas. One of the
Yeah.
greatest in Dallas for sure. Definitely a player to be watching out for. Been making a lot of waves lately, getting better at the game at a scary pace.
DFW doing the same thing in Tekken as well. It was a team kill in the final, Azim versus Trojan.
Yep.
But I mean, but to your point, hey man, you got the players down here, you got the population. You might as well put in that work. But that rivalry ignites yet again here in winners final for this bracket. The two undefeated players, but in the words of Connor McLeod and Highlander, there can be only one.
Let's get into it. Winners finals. Cammy versus JP. Probably a more favorable matchup for Cammy, I'll say it. But JP does have a lot of good tools, and if you can always put those tools to work, I mean, you could win any matchup, right? That's just the way fighting games go. But right now, PickleStein poking away at the drive, utilizing JP's big old cane. Great dive kick there for Marv.
And you're absolutely right about, if you have the tools to succeed in one matchup, then that means you have the tools to succeed. I mean, theoretically in any matchup. That being said, I do feel like Marv is going to have to work extra hard to overcome some of JP's full screen options. I mean, this is a character that tormented people for the first year of this game's life cycle. And Cammy, notwithstanding, you can definitely hear JP in a lot of people's mouths. Though it's got to say, Marv.Ex showing why they do not mess around in the EX dojo, the backbreaker to finish things off. And that is a roaring start for Marv, who has kind of found a decent rhythm to start things off. And will be on PickleStein to match that rhythm.
Yeah, these players, like I just said, last weekend they played in winners finals. PickleStein won, and then Marv brought it back in losers and swept to take home Super Bit Wars. So definitely a lot of familiarity. We might be seeing some level 2, some level 3 gameplay, especially with these players just being as good as they are. I've already seen some knowledge from Marv on the perfect parries and the drive impact. Just utilizing a lot of Cammy dive kick, playing the neutral real patiently. PickleStein really not electing to throw out the projectiles. He's a little scared of that spin knuckle or the dive kick. Both have really been putting in work for Marv. Nice EXDP gets through the fake ghost.
Oh boy.
Okay, here it comes. Level 2, can you block the mix? Nice blocks on the low. Gonna get burnt out. The last ghost hits. That's an overhead. Nice defense though from Marv, but now you're burnt out against JP, and it's time to take your licks. What an air throw!
Oh. I don't know about that. That is the exact kind of turning point that Marv needed. Marv, I mean, might just be short for marvelous. That was nutty what we saw. The exact, like the pinpoint of a turn in momentum.
That was a giga read if I've ever seen one. That was exquisitely played by Marv. We're about to get into game 2 though. Marv already up 1. PickleStein fighting their way out the corner. Nice drive rush in, gets the punish counter. A little bit of conversion, gets the setup with the portal. And these dive kicks for Marv, there's like a certain spacing where he always goes for it, and you'll notice that because he's trying to beat out the ghost and the spike.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's funny how that works, right? Because you have all of these things, and you really are just kind of like fighting off invisible swordsmen whenever you're playing JP. You're having to react to so much stuff to the point where you almost have to start reading things at a certain level. And Marv, I mean, look, what just happened in front of us, notwithstanding, I feel like that is a losing proposition if you're having to rely on that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, nice, perfect parry on the teleport. Yeah, and both these characters have air throws, so, that's also something interesting to think about, how they control the air. Nice OD amnesia. Going to get the setup off the punish counter grab. Not going to kill quite just yet, but the throw, not going to be enough. Marv holding on for dear life. Perfect parry on the DI. The only way he could have lived.
Oh.
All right, now we got to get through these amnesia balls. Nice OD, still alive. PickleStein has one more chance. Oh, and Marv finds the counter hit dive kick, clutching up with a skittle of health and pushing PickleStein one step closer to the loser's bracket.
I mean, and if you're looking at PickleStein, I saw that reaction, the body language. It's just like, what do I need to do?
Yeah.
Marv has been able to react to these options with relative, I mean, not ease, I would say.
He's just ready. He's just ready is the best way I put it.
Yeah, no, like he is being tested, but guess what? He's passing, Sloth.
Yeah, he's definitely passing. Right now, back to the nooch. Marv just chilling, waiting for PickleStein to make a mistake perhaps. He does have to go in, though. You know, the HP advantage is not on his end. Oh, and here comes the DI. Nice punish counter. Marv, these perfect parries, man. He's gotten like 3, like in the last few minutes. Nice.
I mean, PickleStein is throwing out all these options, and every last one, these questions are being answered brilliantly, and PickleStein is not doing enough to maybe mix up the rhythm here, but hopefully going to use some meter and try to figure things out. This level 2.
Oh, tried to parry the last ghost, and PickleStein gets that punish counter on the parry. Nice grab.
That was needed.
Yes.
That's the exact sort of thing that PickleStein needed. And sometimes, look, you need to burn that option. And, hey, you can do them perfect parries as well.
Yep.
Nothing saying that you can't, because you're being reacted to that hard. That means you need to change something up. Like, look, if the fastball ain't working, try the curve.
Yeah, that's true. Marv drive rushing through the spikes, trying to find a way in. PickleStein doing everything that JP can to keep Cammy out. Quite a behemoth of a character to keep out with the dive kick and the spin knuckle. You know, the projectiles could just be rendered useless under Cammy's back fist. A good jump in. All right, it's throw loop time. No, never mind.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not like you're immune from the cheese if you are JP. Just because you live in it doesn't mean you ain't susceptible in them throw loops. Cammy has been doing that for quite some time, and as we jump into the face of the opposition,
Marv taking that second game, trying to make this a 3-0 right now. PickleStein just getting, to put it lightly, just getting overwhelmed. Can't really get a footing in neutral. Every time he does, Marv finds a perfect parry. Every time he goes for a bad option, Marv's there to punish it.
Yeah.
You're sitting chilling. Marv walks up to you. You know, he's got that perfect distancing for the dive kick to maintain his plus frames. And there it is. We're going to start off with the OD dive kick to get into our game number 3. Potential set point for Marv. Can PickleStein find some answers?
And at this point, it's like Marv just has such a mental advantage.
Yeah.
And you saw it. Look, I'm not exactly a body language expert, but what I will say is you saw the look on PickleStein's face. It wasn't exactly an optimistic one.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing Cammy, these options being dealt with so expertly, with such precision, that, I mean, even all of this, that pressure that JP put on Marv in the corner, it amounted to next to nothing. What an advantage you have psychologically if you're Marv.Ex. This is truly your set to lose right now.
Yeah, it's just like the way that Marv is taking up the screen and moving in. PickleStein finally does find a hit, though. Things are looking good. Okay, going for the hooligan, just a dive kick out, but PickleStein finds a nice jab. Pushing Marv a little further away. The drive's low, so Marv's going to chill out a little here. Probably does not want to get burnt out. I don't know who does want to get burnt out. Oh, might be.
Just misspaced that, unfortunately. And that is where PickleStein is going to be able to take advantage. Beautifully done, however, by Marv. And here we go. Let me check my watch. Oh, it's throw loop o'clock. No, not quite, however.
Yeah, we're both sitting here waiting for these throw loops, and Marv is not giving them. I guess JP does have amnesia. Oh, the drive impact trying to escape the corner. Marv finds the grab.
Oh, okay.
Here's that throw loop.
Here we go.
Hey,
I appreciate it. Yeah, I got the 2-piece, and I believe I got the mix in the corner. Hang on a second. Marv is going to go ahead and stand up. Hey, buddy, let me unplug my controller and yours. EX, short for exquisite. Marv moving on to grands in winner's side. And I don't know if you saw that on stream, but walking away, just kind of the sort of nod, the sort of like, you know what, knowing I've got this, and it's just as where we left off in Oklahoma City Sloth. This is his tournament. This is his playground. It is